If you have a blind corner cabinet that's so awkward to access that you seldom use it and it just leaves you frustrated, stay tuned. In this video, we're going to look at a blind corner storage solution that makes better use of these hard-to-reach spaces and is DIY friendly to install. All this and more right now here on Shop Tales and Lore. If you're a serious do-it-yourselfer or home workshop enthusiast looking for a variety of helpful content in one place, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified whenever we release a new video. And if we've helped you today, please take a moment to like, share, and comment below. It helps these videos reach more folks, and your comments help others as well. Thanks again. If you're watching this video, you probably know all too well what a blind corner cabinet is, but just for clarity, a blind corner results from a configuration like this, where a cabinet at the end of a run extends past an adjacent intersecting run of cabinets. Depending on the size of the door opening, this area can be difficult if not impossible to access, and is often treated as a collection point for seldom used appliances, seasonal items, or that awful floral pottery dinnerware from Aunt Tilly that you drag out only when she visits. There are ingenious solutions for getting more efficient use from a blind corner, with most of them involving multi-directional shelves, trays, or baskets that retract laterally or sometimes on an arc into the cabinet. The problem is that many are overly complex designs that are difficult to install, requiring a lot of precise, fussy measuring, or they're outrageously expensive, or both. Here in the shop, we've been having good results with this design, sold under the brand name Vidania Magic Corner. We'll put an Amazon link in the description. It seems to be well constructed, uses smooth operating soft close drawer slides, and the smaller version requires a cabinet opening width of only about 14 inches. Best of all, assembly and installation are very straightforward, and as of the making of this video, it's priced at about 35% of the cost of a virtually identical name brand version. Let's unbox one and install it. First out are the instruction sheet, fastener packet, and the two operating handles. Once we clear away the packaging and inspect the individual parts more closely, the major components are a base that gets attached to the cabinet floor, an upright section that contains two sliding frames to which the storage baskets are attached, two cover panels that drop into the base after installation, and the baskets themselves. Note that two of the baskets are a little smaller than the others. We'll explain why shortly. Since the pullout can be adapted to a left or right-hand cabinet opening, orientation of the base is important. If the door of your blind corner is at the left end of the cabinet, the two posts on the sliding part of the base should also face left, as pictured here. If your door is at the right end of the cabinet, the posts should face right, or 180 degrees from this position. Notice that the upright frame has two of these small holes, one on each side. When placing the frame on the base, make sure these holes face the front of the cabinet. This is where the operating handles will be attached later. Now use the two 6mm hex head machine screws and flat washers to attach the frame to the base posts. This is a good time to pass along a tip on hinge options that can mean significant savings if you're building your own cabinets or modifying an existing layout. This is the standard hinge for a blind corner application. It's designed to wrap around and attach to the back of the panel adjacent to the door. The kicker is that these specialty hinges can cost as much as 3 times the price of a standard hinge. After determining the clearances required by the pullout, we came up with this narrow U-shaped partition that not only provides a clear path for the pullout to travel freely, It also lets us use the more affordable standard Euro hinges and plates. Also, just a quick note on cabinet construction. In this example, we're installing the pullout in a frameless or so-called Euro-style cabinet. Be sure to check the opening size and other clearances in your cabinet, especially if it has a face frame. You may have to experiment with placement of the assembled unit for it to function properly. Okay, back to the installation. Now place the unit inside the cabinet in the correct orientation as discussed earlier. Position the assembly so that it's 120 millimeters or about 4 3/4 inches from the cabinet face and about 5/8 of an inch from the cabinet end where the opening is located. To establish the end gap, I'll use this piece of 5/8 plywood as a temporary spacer. Since the cabinet bottom in this case is 3/4 of an inch thick, to fasten the base to the cabinet I'm using these number 8 by 3/4 inch truss head screws with coarse deep threads. They're longer, a bigger diameter, and just generally stronger than the screws that came with the pullout. For the pilot holes I'm using this 7/64 self-centering bit. A conventional bit would work fine so long as you pre-mark the hole locations with a scratch awl or other sharp tool to prevent the bit from walking. Check your measurements once more to be sure the assembly is still in the right position. Drill your pilot holes and drive the screws. Use 2 or 3 screws on each end of the base and 4 or more in the middle. These are critical connections, so be sure you use enough fasteners to hold up under the stress that will result when the sliding frames and all 4 baskets are extended out in front of the cabinet. Now attach the basket support hooks to both sliding frames. Depending on your cabinet construction, you may have to experiment with the hook and or basket locations to avoid their coming in contact with hinges or the edge of the cabinet door, etc. This is a good time to install the cover panels while you still have plenty of access to the base. The short right angle portion of each panel just slips into the groove in the middle of the base. At this point you're ready to hang the baskets. The instructions recommend placing the larger 2 baskets nearest the cabinet opening, but if your door is wide enough, this may not be necessary. With the door reinstalled, operate the pullout in all directions as one final check for function and any potential obstructions inside the cabinet. Finally, attach the operating handles using the 5mm machine screws from the fastener packet. That's all there is to it. An efficient, functional storage system that's uncomplicated in design and easy to install for the average homeowner. If you decide to try this style of pullout or have had good results with a different blind corner solution, be sure to let us know in the comments. And thanks for watching.